Bernie, if you want to dive into the why we coach and maybe the blueprint that you guys talk about there with the Pittsburgh Pirates, that'd be a great place to start.
Absolutely. Our growth process is called the blueprint. It's both a document that we develop and a process that we go through throughout the year, and it's focused on ourselves growing as front office, as coaches, and as players. So everybody in our organization, from the front office all the way down through the coaching staff and the players, has what's called a blueprint, as well as they walk through the blueprint process with one another as we all grow together throughout the season. I'll walk through the different parts of it, but realize that if there's a part you like, they can play separate or they can play together. We just happen to play them together because they tend to feed into one another. But getting back to the why, the first part of the blueprint is your why. Why do you coach? And why do you coach the way you coach? And we really have our coaches wrestle with that question, dig deep with it. We have our players wrestle with that question too. And depending on the years that they've played with us, it takes them a little bit of time to cultivate a why. The first year is pretty brutal, that process, because they don't have a lot of self-awareness. But as you go through year after year, you can see their why become more refined, become more meaningful, become more internal. But one of the activities we tend to use is called the 4 why game, where if you've had a young son or daughter or a niece or nephew, you've played the why game before. Start out with, well, Bernie, why do you do what you do? Well, I do it because I love helping people. Okay, Bernie, well, why do you love helping people? I love helping people because I like seeing them accomplish things they didn't think they could do. Well, Bernie, why do you like helping people accomplish things you didn't think they could do? Well, I think we live within our comfort zone too much. And I really am passionate about helping guys get out of their comfort zone and do things that they or others didn't think they could do before. And as you go through these 4 whys, you can go deeper and deeper and deeper. And you get way past, I love baseball, or I just love volleyball, or I just love to help. And you get to a deeper meaning of why you do what you do. We think that's critical as a coach and as a player to have a why, because when all things considered, if everything else is equal, the stronger why usually wins. And the stronger why usually wins more often. The second part of the blueprint process, we call it the signature strengths. So if you think about it like fighting a war or fighting a battle, you got to know why you're fighting it, because it's got to be a fight worth fighting. That's your why. You also got to know what weaponry you have. What are you going to fight the fight with? What are your signature strengths? So if you're a big sinker ball thrower, you can throw a bowling ball for a sinker and get ground ball outs, get ground ball double plays. That's a signature strength. You got to know that. Just like the intangibles. If you are an uber competitive son of a gun who will never give up, never stop fighting, never stop quitting, that becomes signature strength. So we want our guys to know what's their weaponry that they're taking into this battle that we call baseball and life. And when they know their why, when they know their signature strengths, we then have them focus on their core convictions. These are basically the non-negotiables that you bring to the practice field, the non-negotiables you bring to the court, and you bring to life. If you guys have ever seen the movie Transporter, Transporter's about this guy named Frank who drives illegal substances for criminals for money from point A to point B. And Frank's got his rules. Rule number 1 is never change the deal. Rule number 2 is no names. And rule number 3 is never look inside the package. And as you go through this movie, this Hollywood movie about Frank doing this, he breaks his own rule, looks inside the package, and that's when all the drama begins. But those are Frank's non-negotiables, and we want players and coaches to know, what are your non-negotiables? What are the things that you believe matter most that you're not going to budge on, that are going to determine and define your decisions?